You guide the teenagers in your life in order to accumulate some green. Well, that's why we have the paybook, the playbook for your pocketbook with Patrice Washington. Patrice is the founder and the chief executive of Seek Wisdom, Find Wealth. Patrice joins us from Atlanta. Patrice, thanks for being here on Taking Stock. So let's begin with one of the tips that you have for parents and teenagers, which is to set goals. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. I think that as parents, we should really help our teens now set financial goals for both the short-term and long-term spending. So whether you have a 12-year-old who wants to save for their first iPod or maybe even an iPhone, or you have a 16-year-old who's ready to save for that first car, it's our responsibility to show them how to do that the right way. And that's by setting a SMART goal, something that's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, and most importantly, it's time-bound. That way, it becomes a habit.
Okay, now that sounds like a great idea, but we know that there are always mistakes along the way. What can we do with those mistakes?
You can cherish those mistakes because while the teen is still under your roof and under your supervision, that is the best time to monitor the mistakes. No matter how much we try to infuse financial education or financial literacy, they're bound to mess up. But the great thing is, let's say they overspend their allowance and they were supposed to take care of something in particular and they don't. Don't just make up for it. I say give them an IOU and make them stick to some terms so that they can pay you back for it. Make it a business transaction so that they learn how this really works. But the best thing is they're doing it while they're under your roof.
All right, well, how can they learn about investments? You've got some tips there as well.
Absolutely. So I think that you should have your teen take inventory of what are the clothes that they're wearing, what's around the room, what electronics are they purchasing every month or every year, and even take a look at your company if it's a publicly traded company and teach them how to check for the ticker symbols and use those smartphones not just for texting, but use them for good. Track those ticker symbols and look at how the prices increase or decrease, because that'll make sure that they're not fearful of investing later on in life when they really need to start. They already have an idea of the concepts behind it, and I always think that that's a great one.
Patrice, what about instilling financial responsibility? How do you do that?
You know, Pim, I go all over the country speaking, and I always run into parents who are so upset because their teen has, used too many text messages or too much data uses on the cell phone plan. But they don't make them take responsibility for it. They just go ahead and pay it and then whine and complain when it happens again. I say as parents with teens, one way that you can instill financial responsibility is to take a look at the cell phone bill every month with them and say, this is what the usage is, this is what the plan is that I have for you, and if you go over that, I'm going to have to take that out of your allowance because now that's your responsibility. And that'll teach them that bills don't get magically paid. You have to monitor what you're doing. You have to be aware, and you have to be upfront with opening your bills and actually looking at them and adjusting when necessary.
You're going to be in great demand for a long time. Thanks very much, Patrice Washington, the chief executive and the founder of Seek Wisdom, Find Wealth. All right, now we all